I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Courtside Soundoff podcast. Once again, I'm Josh Evanoff. As always, welcome by the one and only man of the hour, too sweet to be sour, my friend and yours, Angel Ortega. We got a lot to talk about this week, boys. And by a lot, I mean really not much at all. But UFC 310 did go down over the weekend. Las Vegas. UFC Tampa going down this Saturday night from Florida, the Sunshine State. However, we also have a bunch of news. Tommy Fury pulling out of the Darren Till fight. One of the funniest things I've ever seen. A bunch of fighting announcements and more. However, before we break into all the action, we're brought to you by a few sponsors of the show: Rogue Energy, ELYXR, and our friends over at BetMGM. Rogue Energy keeps me filled up, whether I'm at home, whether I'm at the gym, whether I'm at work. I get to the finish line, and they help me get there with code SOUNDOFF at checkout for 10% off. Meanwhile, ELYXR, they're going to get you really high with their Delta 8 gummies. Code SOUNDOFF, all caps, when you spell the brand's name at checkout for 10% off. Code SOUNDOFF once again. However, our friends over at BetMGM, MMA and boxing fans, guys, if you follow that link down below, you can get up to $1,500 in free bets paid back if you do not hit. Once again, follow that link down below. Contact 1-800-GAMBLER if you're having any issues. However, if you want to go and hop on, have some fun. UFC Tampa going down this weekend. There was UFC 310. If you would have followed your boys' picks from this past weekend, you would have gone 4 of 1. Don't do a round robin. You can make money that way, you know. Hit on the main and co-main at the very least. But we'll also give predictions for UFC Tampa later on. But nonetheless, if you go ahead and follow that link down below, get up to $1,500 in free bets paid back if you do not hit with BetMGM. You know, Angel, I said it before we started filming, man. This UFC 310 card going down Las Vegas, this felt like almost like an old school fight night. You know, there was not a lot of controversy. There wasn't a lot of trash talk heading into this fight. You know, there was no 17-minute Trump walkout. They didn't flash the camera to him every 7 seconds. This was just about fights. There was no, I'd say there was one controversial result coming out of this. For the most part, this is just a fun night of fights, man. I actually had a lot of
controversial. I think it's one of the most controversial decisions of all time. Dude.
One of the. Let me be clear here. I meant like in terms of like fights as a whole. There's only one controversial one, but the one that was controversial was absolutely fucking.
You just reignited my anger for that whole situation, dude. I'm about to get really passionate on this show.
I'm gonna do the same thing. But we got it before we move down to that fight.
I think this is finally the decision that did it to me. No joke.
You've lost. You're gonna lose your mind. You're gonna crash out over this.
No, this is the first one where I felt like I finally understood. Like when everybody has one that they're like up in arms about. This is the one for me.
Well, it's a really bad decision. But before we move on down to that fight, we do have to talk about the main event. We're gonna go one just order from the top down. Main event: Alexandre Pantoja, the cannibal, is still the UFC flyweight champion. Kai Asakura came out. This fight only lasted about a round and some change, right? But these two guys were throwing just fire out there. Teddy Atlas, they were firemen on Saturday. Kai Asakura throwing knees up the middle, trying to kind of intercept Pantoja coming in. Pantoja, who just fights, he doesn't give a fuck what is coming back at him. It doesn't matter if it's anything. It doesn't matter who he's fighting, okay? Walks through most of Asakura's big shots. Some of those knees that landed would have knocked out lesser men. Let's just put that very cleanly. But in round 2, he takes him down. He gets the back, and he chokes him out unconscious. And still, dude, what can you say about this guy? I mean, at a certain point, he just is him. He gets on the microphone, though, and he called out Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson. A fight I would love to see.
I got to respect it, though. That's one of the best call-outs I've heard a guy do in a while.
Yeah, and it's one that makes sense. You know, DJ obviously retired, but just retired, still at that age where he could compete. DJ comes out and says he's not going to fight. Whatever. We'll see what happens.
Respect it, though.
Respect. Whatever happens, I respect the guy. As far as the main event goes, though, what do you think about Pantoja? What do you think about Asakura? Some people were saying he got fraud checked. Some people were saying, a bunch of shit. Give me your thoughts on that.
He got fraud checked. That's funny.
Yeah.
No, I mean, dude, he is as advertised. He came out and entertained. He put himself at risk, and he put himself in the compromising position and got submitted. I mean, it is what it is. That is him. He's a do or die fighter. He's there for your entertainment. He could well be maybe this division's Chandler. Where he'll be like some good guys at the top, and then when he gets at the top, he'll put himself at risk and be maybe in positions to win fights against highly ranked opponents, but at what risk? And I mean, dude, I think another thing, obviously some rule changes are there in place for him. He can't knee grounded opponents, couldn't do,
First time in the cage too.
First time in the cage and on the ring. I mean, it's a different field that he had to adjust to. But he carried himself with a presence. He made himself interesting. And dude, you cannot tell me that Asakura is not going to have some fun fights in the UFC. It's not. We've talked about this in the past. Not every guy on the roster has to be champion or championship caliber. There's just going to be some guys that are going to be just straight up fun to watch.
Yeah, and this is what I said like on Fight Night, like on Twitter. It's like it was a short fight, but it was a banger while it lasted. Like these guys went out there, landed some huge shots, very back and forth, great scrambles early.
Everything was thrown with intention.
Like Kai lost by second round submission. I saw some people were like, oh, he even did worse than Steve Erceg. It's like, dude, if Steve Erceg put himself in those positions, he would have got, the same thing would have happened. Like Kai Asakura is just that guy. He's a do or die fighter. He's either gonna knock you out or he's gonna get a finish trying. That's just who he is. This fight was never going to go 5 rounds. And Pantoja, kind of a similar thing. Although he knows as he became champion, he knows whenever it's time to go ahead and like, all right, I'm getting tagged a little bit too much here. Let's go back to the ground game. Let's go back to the clinch.
He dialed it in for this one.
He really did.
He showed why he's a champ. I mean, that's plain and simple what it is. He showed why he's in the position he is.
Yeah, and I don't know how this guy isn't like a diehard. Like this guy should have more diehard support. You know what I mean? Like I've always been a fan of the guy. I remember back whenever he was just beating the shit out of dudes, and I was like, God, why didn't they give him a title shot? And then eventually he got it, and he's just put on nonstop banger fights. I don't know what more people want out of the guy. I'm not really surprised that he's still champ, but it is time to go ahead and talk about what's potentially next. I mean, for Kai Asakura, you can fight anybody. I like that you mentioned Chandler. I think he's a perfect comp for him. He may not beat all the top 10. He probably won't beat most of them. But you know what? God damn, is it going to be fun whenever he steps into the cage with those guys? With Pantoja, it's a much more complicated issue. We pull up the rankings, okay? Brandon Royval, number 1. He's beaten him twice. He's won 8 rounds against the guy, I believe. Or did he finish him in that first fight? Okay, even worse. He finished him in the first fight. So he 5-0'd him the second time around. First time around, he submitted him in the second round. Brandon Moreno, he beat him 3 straight times by decision. Okay, Amir Albazi just lost to Brandon Moreno in one of the worst performances I've seen by a main event fighter in a long time. Kai Kara France, okay, hasn't fought him.
But dude, it's not the right guy. I hate to say it. People are throwing him out there as an option. There is no way we can go that direction. It just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right.
The record's 25-11. He's coming off a knockout win over Steve Erceg. I wouldn't hate it, but would I like it? No. I mean, prior to that, he lost 2 in a row.
Controversial decision in there, but he did get finished by the former champion Brandon Moreno.
Point being, options are limited. You move down to number 5, Tatsuro Tara. On paper, would be great.
It would have been him.
He lost to Brandon Royval. You can't give a title shot to a guy who just lost, okay? And then you got Alex Perez. I mean,
injury going to be out for a while.
Injury already got submitted in 1 round by Pantoja about 2 years ago now.
Already been in a title fight, lost before, but it's fine. You can rebuild back to that position.
Maybe with due time. Asu Amalaev. This guy's interesting, but still very young in his UFC stint.
He just needs a big win. He needs to put himself out there and fight a top guy in the division and put himself in, probably stick his name in that hat.
Beat former friend of the show, former friend of the show, still a friend of the show, Charles Johnson. Former opponent, Charles Johnson. He beat him. He's beat some other good guys, but still he needs one more big one, And then you got Manel Kape.
No bullshit. I think he should fight KKF.
That's a perfect fight. You got number 7 against number 4. Winner gets a title shot. That's perfect. Manel Kape, number 9, and then Tim Elliott, number 10.
He was close, but he lost to Makayev.
Correct.
He's had a few iffy ones in there.
And then you have
Kai Asakura Manel Kape rematch in the UFC.
I like that.
They're 1-1.
I like that.
They're 1-1.
I fuck with that. And then you have Tim Elliott at number 10, and it's like Tim Elliott, who, God, how old is Tim Elliott now, man?
Dude, he's damn near 40. I think he's 39, 39 or 38.
This guy's just a fucking dog, man. Yeah, he's 37. Yeah, man. He's okay. This motherfucker born on Christmas Eve. Could be 38 in about 2 weeks.
I was on point.
You were on point. You were
38,
on point.
39. I was
and Tim Elliott, I mean, he's coming off a win over Sue Montegieri, but I mean, that's not enough to get a title shot. I mean,
Sue fun action fighter, but
yeah, right.
You're not thinking championship aspirations.
So it's like at this point, the options for Alexandre Pantoja It's
I'll lay out the 3 options for you, dude. It's not even that hard. Either
Yeah.
you bring back Mukaev if he beats his opponent, what he probably should outside of the UFC because he has a fight scheduled for December 13th. I'm gonna watch it. It's on Friday. I'm gonna see how he does. See if he puts his name out there.
Them cutting Mukaev really fucked this whole thing up.
Yeah,
He's perfect.
I mean, it was just an option. It was someone to have there.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people when they're like, oh, when we mention Mukaev, they're like, they think we're saying that he's gonna beat Pantoja.
No,
or
that's
that,
not what
all
we're
of that. It's like it's just the matchup makes sense. But these are my 3 choices right now. It's Asu Amabayev, Kai Kara, and an eliminator in Australia because that's about to go down. Or Royval Moreno trilogy winner gets the title. Because, dude,
They fought twice. Yeah.
I just don't think you cannot the fight will be good. But dude, there is no way that you can just make a Brandon Royval matchup for me right now. You just can't. I had it earlier this year and I saw what happened. I've seen it before. And if he loses the 3rd time, he's locked out.
Yeah.
He's locked out. Especially if it's done. Like this division could be a shit spot.
Yeah. And for me, here's what it comes down to. I feel bad for Brandon Royval. You're talking about he had a stellar 2024. And I don't want to say perfect 2024, but let me pull up the win just to so I can go ahead and lay it out and make the case, right? The Raw Dog. He already fought for the title once, 32 years old, still improving. Okay. He lost to Alexandre Pantoja in December, and it's like, okay, fuck. He had a great winning streak heading into that fight, but what are you going to do? Okay? He steps up on short notice to fight Brandon Moreno in Mexico City, and he beats him by split decision. Split decision because one judge is fucking Stevie Wonder. All right? Didn't watch the fight. He landed... I mean, he just looked great. I'm not going to get into the specifics on it, but the point being, he looked great. Faced Tatsuro Tara, beat him. Stopped the rising prospect in the division. Handed him his first UFC loss. On paper, you'd want to give him a title shot, but it's whenever you have those 2 losses to to Alexandre Pantoja. I like the idea of him facing Brandon Moreno one more time. I think
it's a great matchup. It's fun. They've both lost to him several times.
They're a combined 0-5 against Alex, which is insane because both Brandon's fantastic. Genuinely. Brandon Moreno is an all-time great. Brandon Royval, I think if Alexandre Pantoja doesn't exist, he's the champion right now. Like, he's that good.
Yeah.
But there is a very significant gap between Pantoja and Brandon Royval and seemingly the rest of the division. So, Kai Kara, Amabayev, or you go Mukaev. I don't hate those. Maybe
I think they really got to develop and push 125 this year. Pushing the Charles Johnson through, developing the Joshua Vance of the world,
and I saw
bringing back the Mukaevs, pushing the Asim Amabayevs, and signing other 125ers because there is 125 talent out there, without a doubt.
And we'll talk about a guy.
They
on
might
the
not be
undercard,
ready,
too.
but they're there.
Yeah, we'll talk about the guy on the undercard too, who was a huge flyweight talent, and I could see him getting pushed pretty soon. But I saw that somebody asked Pantoja like, how do you feel about fighting Charles Johnson? He's like, who? And Charles Johnson responded on Twitter like, you know who I am. And it's like, dog, let's fucking go, dude. Hey, that's a fight that in a few months we could see that because the reality is we're at that point where he is fighting the Stevie Verstegs of the world. He is fighting Asakura, who was supposed to get the title shot, but at this point, they're like, oh fuck, who do we have? There's nobody left for him. So it's like he'll fight an Ambalai, he'll fight a Kai Kara France, he'll fight a fucking Tim Elliott, he'll fight a fucking Charles Johnson.
The thing is, the division could have figured itself out if they would have had Mukaev because they could have gone Mukaev. Let's say Mukaev loses, they could have gone the Asakura route. If Mukaev would have won fresh matchups for everybody,
they got to re-sign Mukaev. I'm sorry, they have to.
It's their only choice.
Yeah, they're in a bad position, but we'll see what happens. As far as Kai Sakura next, man, anybody. Like I said earlier, give him anybody. This kid is still. Will he be future champion? Probably not, as long as Pantoja's there.
Wait, can you look at the rankings real quick? I kind of want to see.
Yeah, we pull him back up. Okay, so
fight.
By the way, debuting at number 14. Let's put that out there. He's behind Charles Johnson, which I respect.
I mean, anybody, dude. Anybody who's above him would be really fun.
What? You know what?
Tim Elliott versus Kai Sakura sounds like fun.
Give me 5 rounds. UFC Apex. Fuck it.
Dude, UFC Apex Tim Elliott versus Kai Sakura.
Main event. Give it to me. Or, fuck, dude. Steve Verseg. That'd be a banger. Tatsuro Tara. Like, there's so many good names. So, yeah. Happy Kai Sakura is in the UFC. But let's move down to the co-main event. Because it's time to give some flowers. And a lot of people coping and seething on Saturday night. Coping and seething. Shavkat Rakhmonov defeats Ian Machado Garry by unanimous decision 48-47, 48-47, 48-47. That does not tell the tale of this fight. Okay? Ian Machado Garry obviously stepping up with 3 weeks notice for this fight. Really supposed to be Shavkat versus Bilal Muhammad. we're talking about, oh, will it be Kamaru Usman? This was the last of the options, okay? And he wanted it bad. And he wanted it bad because he knew he could step up and he wanted to prove how great he is. And that's exactly what he did. Machado Garry, in that 5th round, taking down, getting the back of Shavkat Rakhmonov and nearly submitting him. And one of the biggest, like, shitting your pants moments, one of the big, close near calls we've seen in a long, long time. At one point, it looked like he turned into it, and I was like, oh my God, he's got it. He's got it. Shavkat did incredible to fight out of it and survive to the end of the round. But, dude, Machado Garry was that close to not only beating Shavkat Rakhmonov, but submitting him. And if somebody came to the fight and told me, okay, yeah, he caught him, he knocked him out, I'd be like, oh, shit, could have happened to anybody. But to nearly submit a 18-0 monster who is running through everybody, hats off. Incredible performance. Give me your thoughts on Ian Machado Garry and that whole fight.
I've always had Ian Machado Garry stock, dude. I've always thought he was good. My only thing that I thought at one point in time, and I said it last show, is I thought he came to the UFC too early at the time when he did. Everything's worked out. He's developed himself. He's put himself in good positions. He's grown. He's a parent now. He's found his home gym. He's kind of building his life. Like, he's becoming a adult. He is settling. And it's happening all at the right time, at 27 years of age. I mean, the guy's going to have, hopefully, a 10, 11-year career still in the UFC. I mean, he will fight at some point for the title. If he doesn't, I will be shocked. No, I mean, I just can't believe people really thought that the gap between Shavkat and Ian Garry was that big. Like, people had him in this kind of untouchable status. Mm-hmm. And we've been doing a lot of that lately, I feel like, in recent time. And I've done it, too, at times where we think guys are like that untouchable. And granted, dude,
He looked untouchable.
I mean, on paper, Shavkat looked, I wouldn't say necessarily untouchable, but he looked unstoppable.
Yeah.
I think is the better word. Yeah. Because he was just beating everybody, not just beating them, but finishing it. I mean, you just don't get to 18-0 and 18 finishes by not, just by sheer luck. I mean, you got to be a fucking killer. You got to be built a little different.
Yeah.
And the fact that this guy had that continuous killer instinct throughout his whole career and he's still doing it in the UFC shows the kind of level he had. I mean, I remember very early on in his fights, I watched the fight. I'm like, something's different about this guy. And it was really weird. I mean, I was like, this guy has something. I don't know what it is. It was like, I remember before the Carlston Harris fight, and people probably don't even fucking know that name. I was like, I like Carlston Harris. I like his story. Dude, by the way, and I'm not going to go there.
Okay.
But
okay.
I was going to get into like people fucking shitting on me about like not knowing about fights and shit. But like,
it's not worth it.
It's not worth it right now. But yeah, he just had this aura, and look at the position he's in now. He's about to fight for the title here in a bit. And he by the way, found out that he has an MCL injury.
He tore his MCL, correct?
Yeah. So
3 weeks before the fight.
There you go.
Yeah. I mean, look, my kind of thoughts on it. We kind of said heading into the fight, like Ian, like he'll do better than people expect, but I don't think either one of us thought he'd actually win. For me, like, I was blown away.
At one point, I thought he could. There was a part of me that I thought he could, and dude, he damn near did in the 5th round.
Yeah, and it would have been one of the craziest moments in recent memory because it's not that he beat him, it's how he almost beat him. Like I said, if you would have told me he caught him, I'd be like, oh, okay. But it's one thing if you catch a guy versus almost submitting this unstoppable monster who's just excellent on the mat. For me, it's like hitting into the fight. You saw the performance against Jeff Neal, where like he was just a Terminator. Jeff Neal landing huge shots. But Shavkat walking forward like a fucking horror movie villain, just slicing him up with elbows, eventually choking him out unconscious. Like, I saw that happening to Ian Garry. And the fact that it didn't, and not only that, but he damn near won. Like, you can make a case that Ian Garry deserved this win. I wouldn't agree with you, but you could make the case that, like, he took fucking, 3, 4, 5, Like,
it's very hard, though. It's very hard to come up with that.
If that would have happened, it would not have been the worst result on Saturday night. You know what I mean?
No, because it
wouldn't even be the most controversial.
No, because there was even more. There would have been a way worse result a fight before, but we'll get there.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I wouldn't have agreed with it, but at the same time, I would have been like, oh shit, what is this?
By the way, I think 5 rounds. Like, this fight would have been not as good with 3 rounds.
Oh my god, yeah, dude, I'm very thankful it was a 5.
By the way, someone said they're tired of these 5-round co-main events for not a title, and I'm like,
do you guys love MMA?
I think I don't think people like fights, dude.
No, they don't. They don't like fights. That's
this fight would not be as good with 3 rounds.
Like
the result's probably the same, dude, but we wouldn't have got that round in the 5th round.
There are times whenever like it shouldn't happen. I think back to, I think it was Hinata Moicano versus RDA.
Those guys did not need 5 rounds.
Yeah. Now, granted, that was short notice. I can't remember who RDA was supposed to originally fight. UFC 272. That was Covington, Masvidal. So yeah, that's a fucking rough one.
Yeah, why the fuck did they get 5 rounds? No hate to them, dude. I mean, both guys are fun, but he did not need 5 rounds. For
Yeah, I
fight.
can't find. It was really supposed to be Rafael Fazee versus Rafael Dos Anjos. So 5.
Oh yeah, that was a battle of the hot files. I remember
that being 5 rounds wasn't that bad, but whenever Moicano stepped in, it's like kind of like, oh shit, dude, we should probably make this down 3 rounds. This worked out perfectly. I love these 5-round co-mains, dude. Give it to me, feed it to me.
Also,
put it on a platter,
both guys were
you know?
prepping for 5 rounds.
Exactly, because Ian Machado Garry, like, he took this fight on short notice. He was supposed to fight Joaquin Buckley. Granted, he accepted the fights around similar times. You know, like he accepted Buckley and then they subbed him out for Shavkat like 3 days later. You know, but point being, great performance by both guys. Shavkat being willing to fight through the injury still impressed me. And then Ian Machado Garry goes without saying.
Yeah, dude, this card could have been in shambles. Actually, we would have had a Asakura main event. Co-main event would have been Volkov gone with that fucking decision that we got.
Yeah, that would have been terrible. Which, let's talk about that decision, because this was one of the worst decisions in a long time. In fact, I turned off this. I went to the bathroom because I thought, okay, good for Volkov.
Well, dude, and in the past, in some of these situations, even with because even like Dom Reyes, John Jones, like the scorecards, the conversations are closer. You know what I mean?
Yes.
This one, even the fucking in recent time, KKF Albazi, I think was even a little bit more like
defensible.
I think it was like 80-20,
yeah.
You know, or 70-30.
This was unanimous.
This was like 95 to 5%. Every media member gave it. I think if you go to
the only man, Danny Segura, the only guy. Danny's apparently gunning for that judging job.
And then, and if you look at MMA decision, you look at what the fans voted. It was 91%, I think, to whatever the rest everybody else voted. Some trolley votes in there.
Yeah,
I mean, this is one of the most disgusting decisions I've seen in a long time. I mean, I when the fight was over, it was like, okay, cool. Volkov won. All right, let's go. You know, let's move on. That was kind of like it, dude. Gon walked out of the cage. Even he wasn't happy with the fucking result.
Says a lot.
Dana White instantly coming over to Volkov saying he got fucked over. I mean, dude, I've told, like, I've been on the show before and argued, like, you know, they should probably take this shit to the commission. This is one that I think they should take to the commission relentlessly.
Yeah.
Relentlessly. Because it wasn't just a little bad, it was fucking horrific.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is the one I'm willing to die on the sword for, dude, this time. Like, I finally got it. Because not only did this fight just, like, you know, take money away from Volkov and put him in a weird spot, it ruined him from potentially being in a championship scenario. And people are going to be like, dude, who gives a fuck if Volkov's in a championship scenario? Dude, you're taking him away from a moment. It doesn't matter if he becomes champ or not. The opportunity and the chance to fight in the UFC for a title for 5 rounds on a pay-per-view is infinitely more important, I think, to Volkov than anything in his career that he's done to this point. And the fact that one fucking judge robbed him of that fucking moment and having career progression like that is one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen happen. I imagine it's the equivalent of being at whatever X job you are and someone fucks up and it affects your job to the point where you are set back now and you won't be able to advance your career.
Here's the thing, and here's the frustrating part, and I am very hopeful that Dana White, who normally I shit on a lot, I got to give him his flowers here. He went up to Volkov, told him, you got fucked, we're going to make this right. That's what he told him, and Dana typically holds true on those sort of things. You think back to, I think the last time I had something like this controversial happened, Jose Aldo against Marlon Moraes back in 2020, early 2020. Yep. He's like, Jose, this is a title eliminator. You got fucked. You're getting the title shot anyway. And he gave him the title shot. That summer, he fought Petr Yan. Okay? Which was horrific.
I mean, and it also, like, dude, it's just, it makes me mad to see it on the record.
I agree with you.
Because he should, dude, look at his run. Can you pull up the run?
I got you. So he ended this fight on a 4-fight winning streak.
His fight winning streak should be right now Jairzinho Rozenstruik, Alexander Romanov, Tai Tuivasa, Sergey Pavlovich, and Cyril Gane. That's a damn good fucking run in the heavyweight division, and he's being fucking robbed of that.
And the only loss that he has had since 2020, since that first loss to Gane, was Tom fucking Aspinall. And that could have been a damn near flawless run, okay? So, and he would have found a way to get back to fighting Tom Aspinall. Because I'm not somebody who thinks John Jones is going to fight him. I just don't. I think John Jones is going to fight again. I don't think it'll be Tom, okay? I think it's been made that pretty clear. I could be wrong. I'll eat my crow, whatever. This guy, even let's say that fight even happens, Volkov would have earned a title shot already. This would have been enough for him to sit out for like 6 months and be like, okay, I'll fight the winner. Like genuinely, like that 5 fights of those guys, and 3 of which would have been finishes. That's more than enough in the heavyweight division. The fact that he's getting fucked is it's upsetting. It's genuinely upsetting. This guy that we've came on the show for a long time to talk about how hard he's worked his ass off.
I gotta say, fuck the Nevada State Athletic Commission.
Fuck the
Nevada State Athletic Commission.
Hold on. Adelaide Bird. We
fucking know you.
Yeah.
We're coming for you. No, I can't say that.
Adelaide Bird, we're coming for you. Anyway, so we have Junichiro
who's
Kamijo.
Generally a pretty good judge.
Correct. I give Kamijo a pass. But Adelaide Bird has been doing this shit for years. She gave Canelo Alvarez a 118 to 110 scorecard over Gennady Golovkin. I hope you enjoy the Lambo, bitch, because that's the only way you can come to that result. And
even I can't defend that one.
You go back and you look, there's so many terrible results that she has given out. At a certain point, enough is enough. Get her off the fucking desk or get her a new pair of glasses or do whatever you got to do. Because this shit, you are ruining fighters' careers when you do this shit, man. So I had to say that out there. Just terrible. I hope that Dana White follows through on his word and presumably gives Volkov a title shot or at least a big fight. I mean, this was the big fight. Gon's ranked like number 2, so I don't know who else you could fight. But yeah, give Volkov a title shot. It's time. I mean, that was fucked up, and I trust Dana's gonna make right on his word. All right, I'm gonna try and trust. I've been hurt many times by Dana White. Angel, you know, I've been hurt many times by the man, the big boy himself. Okay. I'm gonna put my love and trust in your hands. Dude,
how the fuck, like, dude, there should be a public execution after this result, dude.
Well, they're going to Saudi Arabia in February, man. I'm not sure.
Dude, I just can't believe.
Yeah.
That it was this bad. I mean, this is bad.
Yeah.
Bad, man. Like, there's been fights that have been like relatively close, dude. There's been like bad mistakes, but like to the point where like, I mean, this one just literally, I can't have like, I can always somehow bullshit around it, dude. I'll even make jokes. I'm like, dude, you know, a judge probably gave that round to so and so, you know, because you know how these judges are, you know. I didn't even think that was a possibility during this fucking fight, man.
Yeah, man. Man. Yeah, just frustrating. Just frustrating. I don't think we have any much else to say about this. Like, if they're not gonna match make, like, they should just match make like Volkov won the fight. Give him the title shot. Gon, who
I gotta go credit though. He didn't ride the win. Gon did nothing wrong.
Gon did nothing wrong, but here's what I'll also say. I don't know how you feel about this. It's probably a hot take. It's somewhat of a hot take. I don't know. He is a former interim UFC heavyweight champion. He's technically ranked top 5. I think he's still one of the biggest UFC busts of all time. If you think about that original run, when he came in, started off 10-0. I think
with how they were trying to set him up, yes.
You look at that first run, started off 10-0, won the interim title against Derek Lewis, beat Volkov, beat Derek Lewis, beat Yarzinho, beat JDS, so on and so forth, right? You look at this guy to get all the attention in the world. Incredible athletic guy. Even now, just light on his feet, doesn't move like a heavyweight. The jab is incredible. He lost to Francis Ngannou and came up short against a man with, I mean, nothing in his knees. Everything was torn in both knees, basically. Somehow lost, got wrestled by that guy. Nearly got knocked up by Tai Tuivasa, but eventually came back to win. Tai, who has struggled horrifically since that fight. And then he goes out there, shits his pants. He gets John Jones, gets submitted in about 30 seconds. Ends up knocking out Sergey Spivak, and then ends up getting a terrible decision win here. I'm very interested to see how Gon, if he can make a comeback. Because he still has all the athletic potential in the world. But I just don't know what the fuck. I don't know what he wants at MMA. The way he fights sometimes, it's like, dude, like going for that leg lock. You know what I mean? Like, what is the fight? The fight IQ just isn't there.
But that's the thing.
And it seems like maybe the division looks like it's caught up to him pretty quick. You know,
I think the reps just aren't there for him at that high level. He'll beat a lot of the guys because of the skills and abilities he possesses on the field. On top of that, just being very athletic. So, but he'll always be like the lower end heavyweight division. Like he'll stick around just because he has those abilities. But I think like the 2-3 guys, those will always be the guys that'll give him trouble, and it's just hard to break through. I think for him going forward, it's always going to be matchup dependent. By the way, This is a weird fight that I just thought about. But how do you think heavyweight Poatan versus Ciryl goes?
That's a good fight.
Ciryl got really good movement. He's really strong, very powerful.
Well, here's the thing, right?
He went for his own takedown,
and he actually didn't look bad on the mat at times.
Dude, when he drove in like that and dunked him, I was like, that would look pretty good. Like,
I think he probably beats Pereira. I think he probably beats him, but I think Pereira. I mean, I'd put it like,
oh my god, I was about to call the Poatan fan base
60-40
in trouble.
60-40 in favor of Gon, 65. I'm not gonna say it either.
You know what I'm talking about though, and I was gonna be like,
job.
you know, those guys would be so passionate. Right?
Oh,
like,
I know.
You think Ciryl Gane is gonna beat Poatan?
It's like, yeah, dude. I mean, I'm sorry. I know that you just started watching MMA 5 minutes ago, but anyways. Next up on the main card, this fight got a lot of shit. I gotta be honest with you, we were watching it together. I didn't hate this fight.
I
actually didn't.
I still think it would have been really funny if somehow Kron won.
Round one sucked. He pulled guard real early. They spent most of the fight, most of the first round kind of at full guard. Bryce not really doing a whole lot. Kron not doing even less. But round two, they started trading a little bit. They were throwing some big shots out there. Kron pulls guard again, nearly taps him out, switches back and forth between an armbar and triangle, and nearly got him out of there. Bryce essentially getting saved by the bell. Great end of round two. Round three, though, he tries the first time, pulls guard, second time, pulls guard, third time was the charm. But for Bryce Mitchell, slams him down. Few shot, like we said on Fight Night, it was like a UFC 5, like when the fight's like into your full guard and you kind of go to the body a few times and then you open up. You know, knocks him out with an elbow strike after going to the body 3 times with a few light shots. Kron didn't see it coming, put out cold. Bryce Mitchell, back on track. The bigger story, though, kind of in a way, Kron Gracie, is this kind of like the end of the Gracie fighting clan in MMA?
Oh yeah, I mean it is. But dude, on top of that, like, dude, is this the first MMA UFC tune-up we've seen in a while? Dude, like, it was kind of a tune-up for Bryce after getting brutally fucking knocked out. I mean, like, brutally getting knocked out.
Yeah, you're not wrong. This was...
Like, you think of the last time a guy kind of got a tune-up? Like, this was the equivalent of a tune-up.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. You're really not wrong. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't... Kron, we wanted to see some fun ground exchanges. We did see that. Kron did almost win, which would have been one of the funniest results of all time. I'll say that. I think if he could have gotten that...
why couldn't we have a little chaos, dude? Like, I'm a little disappointed he couldn't do it. Like,
we got real close, man, and we were literally like, "Oh my fucking god, he's gonna do it! He's gonna fucking do it! He's gonna do it!" You know, he got real close, and then he ended up getting knocked out. Look, good for Bryce. This was a tune-up essentially, and that's what we thought it could be coming in. For Kron, man, that's it. That's the end of his UFC deal. I would assume that's 4 fights right there, going 1-3. And I got to eat crow here, man. I said this on the show back after fought Charles Jourdain, but I got to eat crow again. Whenever Kron Gracie got signed in the summer of 2019, he was 5-0. He was still pretty young. I thought, okay, this guy, he might be a UFC champion, but he could be at least a fun guy that could put on fun fights. He came in, instantly submitted Alexandre, who at the time was kind of like on the outskirts of the top 15. I'm like, damn, this guy really could be a fun dude, right? And then he got fucked up by Cub Swanson. And then he took off 4 years. And he came back. And I don't know. That Cub Swanson loss, he got fucked up. But it was a fight of the night. Back and forth. And then he comes back and has one of the worst fights of all time against Charles Jourdain. And then gets knocked out by Bryce Mitchell. Yeah, man. That's it for Kron Gracie. And that's it for the Gracie family in MMA. I mean, I know we still have Neiman out there fighting in the PFL. But even he's like 36. Yeah, man. Hey, they had a hell of a run. They had a hell of a run, man. From 1993 to being in 2024, heading into 2025. That's it for the Gracies. So, I mean, hey, man, unless old ass, what's Hoist doing these days? You know, maybe he'll fight Jake Paul next. I mean, you never know, man. I mean, hey, he's former UFC champion. Just saying, you know. Jokes aside, man. Opening up the main card, this was beautiful. This brought a tear to my eye. Okay, Do Ho Choi knocks out Nate Landwehr. This fight wasn't close for a second. He nearly knocked him out in the first. It was just, the boxing was beautiful. I said he could dominate this fight. I said on the preview, he could dominate this fight if he doesn't get himself drawn into a war. He didn't. Okay, he stayed back. He was patient. He landed the uppercut at will anytime Nate came in on him. Made no adjustments. In round 3, lands a perfect takedown. and ends up getting the knockout win with elbows. Give me your thoughts on the fight. Duho Choi also calling out Bryce Mitchell on social media afterwards. All he did was posted a picture of the earth, and he added Bryce Mitchell, which is the funniest shit. But give me your thoughts on his win.
It was good. I mean, it was really good. It was really nice to see it. It was a feel-good moment for the guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? After being so gone and, like, having few mixed results, like what the like that's a pretty fucking sick moment, man. And I don't think a lot of people are gonna appreciate that.
Yeah.
So who knows what his ceiling is at this point with how much time he has left, but hopefully he can maximize it.
Yeah, I agree, dude. He now, after all those struggles, right, on now a 3-fight unbeaten streak. Let's fucking go, dude. Duho Choi. And this is a fight that, like, he might, he could beat Bryce Mitchell. He genuinely could. And at that point, you're back in the rankings at, like, number 13. So it's like, that would be fun. That would be fun. As far as the rest of the card, man, we did have a few highlights. A couple lowlights, too, not going to lie with you. We'll hit off with this one. Dominic Reyes knocking on Anthony Smith. Dominic Reyes.
This was just sad.
Yeah, good win for Dom. You know, kind of a feel-good moment. But at the same time, this would have been a feel-good moment if Anthony Smith was not going through clearly. And I'm not even joking here. Anthony Smith needs therapy. You know, you're a piece of shit. I'm being dead serious. I'm not disagreeing. I'm not doing a bit here.
I'm not disagreeing. You know me. I'm a fucked up.
I know. I'm fucking with you.
I don't know how to express myself sometimes, so I laugh.
I know. I'm
like the Logan Paul dude. I see the body of the Suicide Forest, so I laugh.
You got the fucking hat on and everything. No, but I don't.
The fucking alien from Toy Story. Yeah. I need to buy that now,
dude. Sometimes it just. How did that not end it? You know what I mean? Like, how did that not end it? Like,
it's only gotten crazier since then.
He went to the Suicide Forest with a camera crew. I can get back. It's called the Suicide Forest.
Well, let's hope Anthony Smith doesn't have a fight in Japan.
And then he goes. All right. Okay. All right.
Breaking news: Anthony Smith versus Poeton has been booked for the Saitama Super Arena.
I just can't get past that. This motherfucker went to the Suicide Forest, and then he saw a dead body. He was like, "Whoa!" Like, there's no way to tell. Like, God, I wish there was a warning. Fucking passing signs on the way in. Dead bodies, maybe. Anyways, Anthony Smith needs therapy. This is not a bit. We laughed for a minute, but this is not a bit.
I don't know if he needs therapy, but he's been like, his life has been pretty crazy the last few years between like the pandemic, him fighting, his fight career, mixed results, his loss of his coach. I mean, the guy literally had someone break into his house and fought off what he believed could have been a fucking home invader, someone who was going to attack / hurt his family. Like, we make the joke like, you're attacking my family. Like, when he woke up that night and he heard someone in his house, he legitimately thought someone was going to try to hurt. I mean, he has daughters. Like, he doesn't have any boys. He has 4 daughters, and I can't imagine, dude, like the emotions he was going through when he's like, I gotta fuck this
fight
guy
to the death.
Like, I need to fight like my life depends on it. Like, it's not just any. There's no rules. There's no ref.
And this guy was a former college wrestler, high on what's bath salts. This guy was. I mean, dude, you guys never.
He didn't go down easy either. And dude, Anthony Smith is a ranked. However bad you think Anthony Smith may be or whatever, Anthony Smith is one of the most lethal human beings on the planet still.
And this was 2019 whenever he had just fought for the title too.
Yeah.
So he's in his prime, Yeah, I feel bad for the guy. I genuinely do. People dunk on him, but like, he's a genuinely good dude. He doesn't deserve that. Yeah. And I mean, I can just tell you as like a small level. Okay, this is insight to Josh's life. Okay, about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago now, in my bathroom, there was a fire. My bathroom fan caught on fire and fell out of the ceiling.
Insane scenario.
And lit the shower curtain on fire. I wake up and I heard something and I didn't see anything. And I look under the bathroom door and I just see like light. And I'm like, I didn't remember leaving the light on. And I open up the door and sure enough, the shower curtain's on fire and the fan is on fire on the floor, burning a hole in the floor. And I look up and there's nothing but fire. And I had to be the one to fucking grab. I grabbed like the towel. We had like two towels just hanging on the fucking like the shower curtain, like not the shower curtain, but you know what I mean, like the thing next to the shower curtain. And I just yanked those fuckers off, and I started just stomping out the fire the best I could. And it's like, dude, I'm dealing with like not even a human being interrupting my sleep, fucking up my day, and having being in danger. Imagine trying to fight a dude high on bath salts who's a college wrestler. Okay, imagine that's traumatic, bro. Even as a UFC fucking fighter. Like, being woken up out of your sleep out of that, like, I still fucking wake up in the middle of the night sometimes, like, oh, fuck, gotta go check it out, you know?
Damn. What made you even wake up that night?
I just heard it. I heard it fall out of the ceiling.
Could you imagine if
it was
you didn't wake up, dude?
I would have died, yeah. Twice now. My phone's fucked up. If you look at the side of my phone, I don't know why, the charger caught on fire. And it's part of my phone is still burned, like, where it's, like, fucked up.
What the fuck?
And I woke up during that, too. So,
something like that almost happened to me, too. One time, my charger started burning, like, my fabric on my comforter, and that woke me up, dude. I felt the heat.
Exactly, 2 close calls. And
imagine if I left the house.
And imagine if that's not a fire. That's a man coming into your room. Okay. So also, I feel bad for Anthony Smith.
Well, I feel bad for him because he's about to meet the apex predator in that room.
That man doesn't know what's gonna happen. You see red, huh?
He's gonna meet the lethal weapon.
Sometimes, do you ever get paranoid? Like, somebody's been behind you for like 5 minutes driving. You're like, I didn't cut this guy off, right? He's not following me. You know, like sometimes I think about that, and then I think, like, well, I'm gonna still.
Well, there's only been like twice, and I'm like, if this guy comes out, this guy is literally not what. No, he's not gonna know what's coming for him.
Yeah. Like, I've been in that position, and then like I've heard stories of women being like, oh, I had to drive to the police station because I accidentally, like, this guy was, following me home. I thought every single time I've had that thought, I'm like, I'm just gonna go home anyways and just fuck him up. Like it's just like, what's the
I mean, it all depends where you are. Like, I think intelligent, you probably should drive past the police station.
Yeah. We spent way too long on the subject. Point being, Anthony Smith needs therapy. Because afterwards, he said that Dominic Reyes said this. It's not Anthony Smith. He said Anthony looked like he was going to retire. He didn't retire.
I thought he was. I was ready for it.
Yeah, he didn't retire, but he talked about his coach and all the stuff he's been going through. And Dominic Reyes said that in the first round, he put his hands down. And Anthony Smith told him, fucking hit me. Like, hit me. Fucking go. Fucking hit me.
I will say sometimes men like, do this thing, and it's not healthy. Let me clarify. Sometimes men will do this thing where they put themselves through just like some shit. Just cause
they want to feel something.
Yeah, and that's what he was doing. Not a good thing. And for his sake, there was a ref in there. There's a cage in there. Luckily, this isn't Anthony Smith at a bar getting drunk, mourning over his friend. Some guy starts fucking with him, and he tells this guy to fuck him up or to fight him or whatever. And then that turns into whatever it could be. You know?
Exactly.
But
could be a lot worse.
And granted, I don't think Anthony Smith would be that kind of guy, but nevertheless, man, still kind of it worries you. And I think he. I think he has good people around him. I think good things will happen to him, and hopefully they give him some guidance. Mm-hmm. People made this. People said this is a joke, but they were like, he needs the Joe Rogan, Brendan Schwab talk. It's that time.
Yeah, it's. I think he can still win fights, but I think at the very least, if you're gonna have fights, take fun fights. Don't try and fight on short notice again. Don't search for a title.
And he said he wasn't going to any, by the way. Yeah. I listened to his podcast. He said he wasn't going to, and he did. Yeah. He went back on his word.
Yeah. So take some time off. Get some help, because that's not healthy. Grief is a very real thing, and if you don't work through it properly, and it takes time, man. It really does. It takes time. So for him taking this fight, it was rough. I feel bad for the guy, but we'll move on down the card. Vicente Luque knocks down and then submits our boy Themba, gets him out of there inside of a minute. Great win by Luque. God, could you imagine if that was Nick Diaz?
I mean, he showed the level, dude. He showed the level.
Could you imagine if that was Nick Diaz? Thank God it wasn't. Mostar Illuev defeats Aljamain Sterling by unanimous decision. I actually thought Aljo won this fight. Probably was a hot take.
Really?
I thought he.
What was the consensus on
the
this?
MMA decisions? I'm pulling it up because I never did it on Fight Night. Let me see. It's 29-28 across the board. All three judges gave it to him. Ben Cartlidge, Derek Clearly, and Sal D'Amato. Ended up being, most people thought Illuev won 29-28, but there were a few people who thought Sterling won. If you look at the MMA decisions, it's essentially 60-40 in favor of Illuev.
Still leaning one way, though.
Yeah, fair enough. I thought Sterling took round 1. I also thought that he took round 3. That's kind of the way I thought it shook out. But what are you going to do? It was a very, very close fight.
My fight of the night.
Yeah, it was incredibly fun. The grappling was a lot of fun, man. I know some people were shitting on it.
I got to say, dude, Mozart took fucking Aljamain's back. I mean...
But Aljo also took Mostar's back. And I thought both guys looked great.
They did in their own ways. All I got to say, dude, is like, dude, how the fuck do you guys not want Mozart to fight for a title? Like, I got to say I'm tired of.
He deserves it.
I'm tired of these people being like, dude, Ilya's fucking untouchable, dude. I'm fucking tired of this shit. It doesn't mean I don't think necessarily that Mozart is gonna win. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna say it on the show. I'd probably pick him just because I think stylistically he's interesting, and then I think the most difficult guys at this time for Ilya are guys who slow down the pace of the fight, can dictate the pace of the fight in the grappling, or at least to an extent try to dictate as much as in the grappling and clinching exchanges. Will not, and I also know Mozart is not an idiot. He's not going to try to strike with him in boxing range a lot. He's not going to try to get behind that black line and get caught out like he's going to fucking double leg him and take him down and try to control him on the ground as best as he can. I think Ilya has good wrestling, but I really don't think it's as good as people say it is. I'm yet to see how good the wrestling can be. He did stop the Bryce Mitchell takedowns. He did show some good stuff, but I'm not convinced yet that that's going to stop the Mozart Evanoff takedowns.
I agree, and I'm interested to see that,
especially after this Aljamain fight. This just reinforced the possibility, and it's just infinitely an interesting matchup now just because of that.
Well, right now we're still looking to see what happens with ELYXR. He actually came out yesterday and said he's actually going to vacate the title and move to lightweight.
Yeah, I fucking hate this guy.
I fucking hate that, because it's like, dude.
It's like, dude, the guy has the potential to be such a fucking interesting dude, and he just infinitely shoots himself in the foot more and more each day.
Yeah, because he's so good, but it's like, dude, you've beaten who of the top 5? He's beaten Josh Emmett, who I think is number 5, Volk and Max. That's like awesome, and you dominated all 3 of those guys. Well, he didn't dominate Max. He got a point. He knocked him out. Come on, man. I think he's still got some more work to do. But if he's gonna vacate the title,
he's still got options. He's got Diego Lopez. He got Mozart back in the waiting.
He got back in the queue. Even Aljo is still. I mean, if he wins another big fight, he's right there too. I mean, this was a close fight, so
yeah,
that's just how it is. This is a bad decision. Brian Battle defeating Randy Brown, 29-28, 28-29, 29-28. Controversial. They also missed weight by 5 pounds. We love Brian Battle on this show, and he did get on the mic.
You didn't think he won?
No,
I think he barely snuck by, but it wasn't good.
I thought. Admittedly, I wasn't the most paying attention to this fight. Let me see what most. Yeah, actually, it was. Let me see. 50. It was damn near 50. 56% of MMA Decisions fans thought Randy Brown won the fight. So it was very, very close. If he would have had this go anyway, I wouldn't.
This was his moment to kind of capitalize on the momentum. He kind of slowed down a little bit here. Kind of a loss on his part, but hopefully he can make it up at some point.
I thought it was Brown 1-3, but I mean it was a very close fight, and as long as he doesn't miss weight again, he'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
I still like the guy.
First time it's ever happened too.
Exactly. This fight, you didn't even see this one. Did you go back and watch this one? Eric Andrews, Chris Weidman?
No, I need to, dude, but I didn't even think about that. You're right.
Round one of this was Looney Tunes ass bullshit, bro. That's the only way to explain it. So, Eric, if you guys didn't see this fight, which I'm sure a lot of people didn't,
I forgot to rewatch it. I feel bad now.
No, you didn't. So, round one start. Round two is round one starts though. Eric starts tagging him up. He catches Chris Weidman does a leg kick. He catches it and then throws a head kick of his own while he's holding Chris Weidman's leg. Drops Chris Weidman. Tries to finish him. Ends up kneeing him on the ground while he's getting up. He has like a hand and a knee down. He ends up landing a big knee. Chris Weidman takes like 5 minutes. They move on. As soon as the break is over, Chris Weidman lands a right hook and drops Eric Andrews bad. Ends the round like on top at full mount. Fucking landing some shots, right? Round two comes. This is where the fight immediately kind of slows down. Chris Weidman jumps to Gilly, doesn't get it, ends up on bottom. Eric Andrews just mauls him for a few minutes and ends up getting a TKO in round two. I wish they would have let the fight go on because Eric Andrews was kind of landing most of those weren't landing, or if they were kind of half-hearted shots, no posture up on really any of them. But at the same time, Chris Weidman was getting tagged up for a few minutes, so I get it. Good win for Eric Andrews. Chris Weidman didn't even look bad. This was a fun old guy fight. If you're gonna have old guys fight, this was kind of the best outcome, honestly, in my opinion. But the real star of the prelims is Joshua Van. Joshua Van puts on a fucking boxing clinic against Cody Durden.
Cody Durden looked good. Like, what was it, the first round?
Good.
But then after
Pac, you know.
But then after that, dude, Joshua Van just lit him up.
He did, and Joshua Van now ranked number 15 at flyweight. This kid has my future, man. Oh my god, like you kind of Max Holloway-esque, I'd say. Like they're very heavy on the boxing, not really throwing everything into these shots, but a lot of cardio, just always staying on you. Cody Durden was, I don't know how he made
not really trying to take the fight to the ground either.
I don't know how he made it to the scorecards, man. Joshua Van looked great though. Love to see him fight anybody next, man. He's appointment viewing at flyweight, you know. A couple other quick fights to go ahead and run through. Michael Chiesa defeating Max Griffin.
Fun older guy fight.
Yeah. I mean, 2 wins in a row. He wants to headline UC Seattle. I wouldn't hate that. I mean, at this stage of his career, 36 now, on the outskirts of the top 15, and they could find him a fun fight. We'll see what happens. Chase Hooper defeating Clay Guida.
I mean, it feels like I will say this, and I think this is probably the proper way to put it. The matchmaking he's getting now at 155, I think, is the matchmaking he should have always got in the UFC.
Yeah. He's
now getting the development. He's now getting the time. And I think he just needs to keep this steady pace. I mean, there's no need to rush anything. I think they put out a Jim Miller fight out there. He was kind of interested in that. I respect that. That's a tough fight. That's not an easy fight. Shit, dude. Not too long ago, fucking Jim Miller knocked out that kid. What was it, Nicholas Mota? Pretty young.
Yep.
And, he did, he's like, Jim could still crack. He could still beat some pretty young kids and, check them and make sure, like, hey, I'm just, like, you guys got shit to work on. So I think it's a pretty good fight for Chase.
I would agree with you on that one. As far as the other side of it, Clay Guida, it's time.
It's time, and it's perfectly fine, man. Like, I feel like a lot of times, like, we try to be down on these things, but it's like, dude, you've done your service. You've been so fun. You've been
already a UFC Hall of Famer. Already, he's in the first fight with Diego.
Yeah, like, what is he fighting for now?
And normally I'm the type of guy where it's like, give him one more, maybe in his hometown or something. Where's Clay from? I thought he's from fucking like Texas. No, he's from Illinois. Excuse me, he's from Chicago. Okay, do a fight night in Chicago. I mean, they go there like once every 2 years anyway. Let him do his last fight. Normally that's the type of guy that I am, but dude, like
an old guy fight.
Yeah, I'd be down with that, but also we've been at this point for like a while with Clay Guida. I mean, he's getting dominated, but he's getting like 30-26 by guys that aren't. I mean, Hoffa Garcia, beat the shit out of him in KC. Joaquin Sylvia beat the shit out of him. And then Chase Hooper, who I like a lot. But if you're gonna easily get him out of there, it's like, okay, that's a sign. Chase Hooper doesn't easily get out anybody. So I don't know. And obviously he's improving, but yeah, it's time. As far as Chase Hooper,
also this was a 25-year-old Clay Guida in there. It's like, dude, come on, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Well, and it didn't help that these guys, like, I don't even know how many people know this, but like they faced off in like Fury Grappling and like 2 years ago. And
I forgot about that.
Yeah, Chase beat him in like 3 minutes. So like it's the same thing again.
We should have bet Chase Hooper by submission.
Put the house on it, man. Solid night of. Oh, and Kennedy Nzechukwu defeats Lucas Bresky. 2 knockout wins in 2 months up at heavyweight.
Yeah, I mean that's just once again the state of heavyweight. Yeah. And Lucas Bresky's not very good.
Yeah. And Kennedy, hey man, if he's going about this right, he's going about this the right
way.
If
I remember right, was Bresky the one who fought Walter Walker? I mean, he's 1 loss away from not being in the UFC.
I believe you are right, but I want to double check it. No, he fought Mick Parkin. He did fight Walter Walker. Okay, he beat Walter Walker, got knocked out by Mick Parkin. That's his UFC run thus far, and then got knocked out by our boy Kennedy here.
I mean, dude, no joke. I mean, if he would have lost this fight and lost that Walter Walker fight, he's gone.
Yeah, man. Well, we'll see what happens. Overall, though, I loved this card. I thought it was a lot of fun. For the last pay-per-view of the year, did it have the biggest names? No. Was it a lot of fun? Fuck yeah, dude.
It was fun. It was fun in some way, yeah.
But this is going to be the last UFC fight night of the year. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go a month between cards after this, okay?
Is it be exactly that long? I think you're right. Yeah.
Almost December 14th due to January 11th. So, yeah.
Just a little under.
Yeah. So here we go, man. UFC Tampa going down this Saturday night from the Amalie Arena in Tampa, Florida. Man, the home of the Lightning, going to be home to UFC welterweights in the main event. Colby Covington taking on Joaquin Buckley. Colby Covington, I thought, after losing to Leon Edwards, may never fight again. That's the one where he stepped up, got one of the worst title shots of all time, in my opinion, after beating a 7,000-year-old Jorge Masvidal who had lost his last 17 fights. Nonetheless, though, it's been over a year, okay? He got 50-45 by Leon. And now here we are, man. Here we are. Stepping up on short notice to face Buckley, who New Mansa out of St. Louis, Missouri, 5-fight winning streak, 3 wins by knockout. Last knocked out Wonder Boy, R.I.P. Because he killed him that night in October in Salt Lake. But, he's put on a great winning streak down at welterweight. Up at middleweight, he was a fun guy. We're like, I'm not really sure how far he can go.
What is his current spirit right now? Like, what is his last few? I know we have Wonder Boy in there.
Andre Fiallo, who that was whenever Andre Fiallo was kind of on a little bit of a run before he ended up getting finished by everybody. Alex Morono knocked out Luque, beat our boy Nerlston, and then knocked out Wonder Boy. That's a solid. I mean,
it's a solid run.
It's not,
it's not the craziest
UFC title caliber, but he could get to a title shot potentially with a win here. Let me actually pull this up. So obviously, our boy Buckley has the momentum. According to the current odds from our friends over at BetMGM, if you guys want to click that link down below, you can get up to $1,500 in free bets. Joaquin Buckley is a minus 275. Colby Covington coming back as a plus 225 underdog. If you want to follow that link down below and go ahead and hop on the action.
There's some value there. There's some value there in Colby.
I was just say, interesting line. I'm not a believer of Colby Covington. I mean, he's very clear, not very the highest guy on him, throughout his UFC run. But at age 36, could he turn back the clock against a guy that we've kind of seen shown a little bit of susceptibility to the wrestling?
But I mean, would he really have to turn back the clock? That's the thing, though. Would you really be surprised if Colby came out here, controlled him for 5 rounds of absolute nothing, and got the decision?
Not at all.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that is a very likely result. That's a result I say. What do you like? Be honest with me. How do you see Buckley winning this fight? How does he win this fight?
I think it depends on how. Here's the thing. Here's the easiest way to know if a fighter's washed. They don't throw punches. Colby Covington against Leon Edwards didn't throw. He looked like I don't know if it's a moment or whatever, or he's 36 now, with a lifetime of fighting. He didn't do shit, okay? That's the easiest way to know if a guy's washed. Watch Tony Ferguson, he didn't throw punches. Beat Japan at the end of his career, not doing anything. If he could, I say turn back the clock because he looked washed against Leon Edwards. I could see him coming out here and throwing punches and doing the old Colby Covington cardio kickboxing, fucking walking forward, getting you down, doing, going back and forth in the grappling, putting you up against the fence, landing these short shots. I think Buckley could easily catch him in that situation. But I also think,
Colby has a good chin.
Colby has a good chin, but I think Buckley's one of the most explosive guys in the UFC. I genuinely think
that is true.
I think it depends on the way Colby fights. I think Buckley could both catch him if he's kind of doing the whole cardio kickboxing Colby of like 2020 type thing. But if it's Colby of the one that fought Leon Edwards, he's getting done inside 2 rounds. Leon should have finished him if we're being completely honest. So I think it depends on the version of Colby that shows up. I've admittedly gone back and forth on this pick a lot, though. I'm very surprised that the odds are as wide as they are.
I'm almost tempted to pick Colby, dude. Like, I can see a Colby literally 5 rounds of nothing, straight just take down, go to the ground. Buckley can't get up. Yeah, and that's the fight.
Yeah. And he's gonna have.
I just can't generate a thought of how Buckley does it. Like, I don't see a Buckley knockout. I mean, I can see a crazy head kick, some crazy shit like that.
I'm gonna pick Buckley knockout. I'm gonna pick it, but I'm like 55-45.
I think Buckley's the choice just because he's fought, active. He's been active, he's here. But fuck me, dude. Would you be surprised?
No,
that's what I'm saying.
Like, yeah.
Like I really can't. I feel like the best way you can dictate a fight is like, can you generate a thought of how the fight is won? And it's really hard for me to generate a 5-round decision for Buckley. I can't.
I could see him. Well, I mean,
I don't see him finishing Colby.
I could see him finishing Colby, but at the same time, I could also see him.
The way I think about it is, if Leon couldn't do it, why would Buckley do it?
Well, because Buckley's a better fit. I mean, maybe not at the top level. That's kind of the thing. We haven't seen really Buckley fight top level guys. It's kind of his first one. So, like, I really don't know. I'm really conflicted about it. But yeah, I mean, I'm gonna pick Buckley.
It's a hard fight to call. It's weird because it's like I've never been high on Buckley, and then at the same time, Colby's never. And then Colby's just in a fucking weird spot right now. So it doesn't help either.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how I feel about it, but I will pick Buckley.
Might have to throw $5 on Colby by decision the night of.
I wouldn't even blame it. I wouldn't even blame you. So, are you going to go ahead and pick him then?
No, I'm picking Buckley.
Okay.
I'm just saying. I'm throwing I throw money down on opposite guys all the time just for shits and giggles.
Totally fair. Totally fair. Nonetheless, man,
I was about to throw down money on fucking
Crone Gracie.
Not Crone Gracie. Oh, and Crone, but I also thought about picking Bryce via finish.
Oh, yeah.
Big mistake.
Yeah, it happens. Look, main event could be a fun fight. This is card for last card of the year. It's a fight night, but there's a lot of fun fights. Not the biggest names again, but some fun fights. Co-main event. The Hall of Famer, the legend, Killer Cub Swanson. Still doing the damn thing, Angel, at 41 years old. But unlike other guys, like Clay Guida's like 43, he looks 43. Cub Swanson does not look 41, okay? He's coming off a split decision.
His body feels like it, though, dude. I can tell.
Yeah, right?
You see him come out with all those leg wraps and shit, and it's just...
But he's still entertaining as fuck.
No, you're right. You're right.
Coming off a split decision loss to Andre Fili. I thought he won that one. Prior to that, he stopped Hakeem Dawodu in his tracks. but featherweight, you know, he's had some mixed results. So he got finished by Jonathan Martinez, but he spinning wheel knocked out Darren Elkins. He got finished by Giga Chikadze. But before that, he knocked out Dan Pineda. You know, like he's been going back and forth. Still a very fun action guy. And he is meeting another action guy in this co-main event, Billy Quarantillo. Billy Q out of Tampa, fighting in his adopted hometown of Tampa, coming off a submission loss to Yusuf Zalal. We kind of know Billy Q at this point. You know, on the outskirts of top 15. Very fun guy. According to the current line from BetMGM, our friends over there, Billy Q, a -160 favorite. Cub Swanson, a +130 underdog coming back for the Hall of Famer. What do you make of this co-main event?
It's fun. I mean, it's an action fight. Anything could fucking happen. Both you guys are going to be dangerous at all times. They're both going to go into kill. I mean, dude, if these guys are fight of the night, right? Like, they got
I mean, it's going to be tough to beat them. It's gonna be
I mean, if they're not fight of the night, it's going to be insane.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Cub for the culture.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? For the Colts, I mean, Billy Q's a smarter pick, I'd say. But, fuck.
Is he really, though?
I think so.
By a lot, though?
Not by a lot. I mean,
I'm about to say, I don't think, like, I feel like there's decisives, like, this is an intelligent pick.
He's the younger guy. He's the bigger guy. He's faced a higher level competition as of late. That's my reasoning for thinking he's a smarter pick.
True, but what has he done against that higher level competition?
I mean, he knocked out Alexandre Hernandez, you know, off the lightweight. You know, he beat Damon Jackson. He beat the shit out of him.
Damon Jackson
he had a close fight with Shane Burgos, did he not?
He did, but
I know that was years ago now. Point being,
and where's Burgos at now?
I know.
Exactly. See, like
I'm taking Killer Cub. You don't got to sell me. I'm already taking Killer Cub.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's a lot tighter than I think.
Yeah. Well, he's a slight favorite for a reason. But as far as the co-main event goes, I'm taking Killer Cub.
Well, that's why Cubs. Well, on the other hand, that's why Cub Swanson's a slight underdog.
Yeah. Anyways, man.
I got you. I got you believing, didn't I?
Yeah. You got me.
But,
anyways.
By the way, on a lighter note, how the fuck are these guys not the co-main event? Or even the guys below them? No hate. I'm just curious, just because they're ranked guys.
Because Manel Cape can't help himself.
Oh my God, Jake Paul?
No, well, I don't mean like that. I mean,
not just kidding.
Yeah. Manel Cape is coming. I mean, he's coming off a terrible fight against Muhammad Makayev. And he misses weight consistently. I absolutely understand why he's not the co-main event, and I love the guy. I think he's very fun.
I guess you're right. They're right there. They couldn't risk him missing weight in the co-main.
Nonetheless, he's going to be facing Bruno Da Silva here. Man, very fun guy. 4 wins in a row all by finish at flyweight. That's rare as fuck to see. So let's see how he can do with the 34-year-old Brazilian. I like that fight. I also like Vitor Petrino against Dustin Jacoby. Neither one of these guys get to fight for the title anytime soon. Well, both of them are fun as fuck.
Petrino young. Not soon. Yeah, but I mean, but
if you're getting, I don't know, man. If you're getting caught by the ghost of Anthony Smith,
I mean, he's young and inexperienced. I mean, you saw his career started in 2019.
I'm not writing him off. I'm just saying anytime soon.
No, I know. I just want to give, write the picture.
I know. I like this fight though. Dustin Jacoby needs a win. 4 losses in his last 5. We'll see how he does. Adrian Yanez taking on Daniel Marcos. Banger. I could see these guys stealing fight of the night away from Cub and Billy Q.
This is a very important fight for Yanez and a very important fight for Daniel Marcos. Like, the importance of this fight is very big.
Daniel Marcos, I believe, let me pull it up. Actually, I don't want to get it wrong. 16-0 now. 16-0, man. A couple big wins under his belt. Davey Grant, John Castana.
But still, like, very unproven though.
Very
like, the record looks pretty, but it's like,
I mean, Adrian Yanez 17-5 has the much bigger wins, So
yeah.
We'll see. That should be a fun fight, though. Opening up the main card, Navajo Sterling against Tuco. Oh, man.
Toko. It has to be
Tuco Tacos, which is one of the...
That's a pretty fun name to say.
It's one of the best names in the UFC. I mean, there's some names... I've talked about this. There's some names that are just sick. Like Michael Jordan was always going to be a legend, 2 first names. Tuco Tacos.
What about his opponent, though? Navajo Sterling.
That's a hell of a name, too. That's a great name. I like it. Let's see how they do. Open up the main card. Prelims, though. I want to say are stacked, but there's some good ass names.
There's some fucking good fights. That's
fucking good fights. DTF fight of the week: Michael Johnson, Ottoman Azatar. I like that, man. MJ still going. The menace. And he just really brought it back, man. I really thought he was like dead in the water.
Dude, but that record is getting...
The record's rough, but like he's the same guy. He could beat anybody
that
on
guy
any
beat
given
Dustin
night.
Poirier, dude.
He knocked out Dustin Poirier. He dominated Tony Ferguson. Okay, he beat the shit out of my boy Joe Lozon back in the day. I mean, the guy is truly one of a kind. He's won 3 of his last 5 now, and There was a split decision in there to Jamie Malarkey that I thought he won too. So,
Also, what was the last time Ahmed Asaitar fought before this?
July 2023 knockout loss to Francisco Prado. Part of that knockout loss to Matt Frevola. He needs this one bad.
Damn.
Two fights in the last 4 years? Let me pull it up real quickly. I want to make sure I get it right. Yeah, he has 2 fights since in the last 4 years actually. 2 fights in the last 4 years, and he's lost by knockout.
Well, you remember he got let go there for a minute, right? You remember that whole situation?
Yeah.
What was it called? The bag gate?
Bag gate. Yeah.
By the way, the fight underneath feels like it should be way higher.
I agree with you.
And it has a lot of importance too, because one of these guys, depending how much they can build on from here, they could be a ranked to 155.
Yeah.
Joel Alvarez Ricardo Close is an insanely good fight.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, that's a great fight. Joel Alvarez, I still think he was one of the most entertaining guys at lightweight. I don't know how most people feel about that.
His potential is so untapped. I think if 165 existed, he'd be totally a 165er.
100%. And you look at his record, it's like, dude, so he lost his UFC debut. I want to say I give a pass to anybody making
Who did he lose to?
Damir Azamagulov, which is
dude,
not even a bad loss.
At its time, dude.
That's not even a bad loss. But the point being there, he wins, and then he beats Joe Duffy. He beats Alexander Yakovlev. He knocks out Thiago Moises. And then he faces Arman Tsarukyan, gets annihilated. But comes back, he submits Mark Jacasey, knocks out Elvis Brenner. He's a guy that at, 31 years old now, 21-3, I still think his ceiling is high as fuck.
He just has to lock it in, dude, and make that weight. That's all it is.
And Jakar Close is 36 now, but he's on a 4-fight winning streak too.
He was out of commission for a bit, though.
He lost 2 years of his career, and ever since then, man, it's been...
Jeremy Stevens just set him back.
Yeah, he did. And then you got other prelim fights. Sean Woodson, Fernando Padilla.
That sounds like violence, dude.
That's a banger, dude. I love Sean Woodson. Miles Johns, Felipe Lima should be fun.
Violence.
Yeah. Miranda Maverick coming back here against Jamie Lynn Horth. Those are supposed to be Miranda Maverick. She's supposed to fight Tracy Cortez. That fight got bumped, remember? And now she's going to be fighting Jamie Lynn Horth, who not even ranked. I don't know. I don't want to say it was kind of a tune-up, but it's kind of a tune-up.
How is this her second fight? Actually,
I believe this is her second fight. But let me get
I feel like I don't know too much. I don't really know much about her.
She's Canadian.
This is her third fight.
Third fight. Who else should you fight against?
Ivana Petrovich, Veronica Hardy, and Haley Cohen.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
I thought she might have, and dude, she didn't even come through the contender. She's actually just a straight up signing from the LFA.
Yeah, I think Miranda Maverick's probably gonna fuck her up here. Honestly,
probably. She seems like a complete unknown in this. And no hate, she lost to Veronica Hardy, who just had a very rough loss.
Yeah, no shame.
I thought Veronica was gonna make a turn there for a minute, but it took a turn the other way.
I'm still super high on Miranda Maverick. 27 years old out of Missouri. I'm still very high on her though.
Mm-hmm.
So I expect her to get
that. But Ramon Tavares underneath, very entertaining guy. Fighting
Davey Grant. Yeah.
I mean, those guys are gonna light up the card. And Piero Rodriguez versus
Josephine Lindgren Watson.
Is that her name?
Out of Sweden.
Yeah.
Yeah. Former kickboxer. Okay. Who did she beat that is very well known? I feel like there's somebody.
It's a good fight.
I can't remember.
She's 28. She's real young.
She is young. Can't think of who it is. Point being, she's got a lot of potential. We'll see how she does. Any other fights should we talk about in here before we go and move on?
Not anymore that we've already talked about.
Got you. Understood. All right. Yeah, man. Very exciting card. We do have a few quick news things to go and get through. Admittedly, there's not that much, but we'll talk about it nonetheless. Okay. Tommy Fury. This just complete shit show, but I want to talk about it because I think it's funny. Okay. Tommy Fury, we're just supposed to fight Darren Till at Misfits 20 in January. Pulls out of the fight earlier this week. He says the reason he's pulling out is because Darren Till threatened to kick him. So he's the first man to ever pull out of a boxing match because he's afraid his opponent's going to hurt him. Then he gets on Twitter and he calls out Jake Paul and Logan Paul, who both publicly reject him. And this is coming months after he also got dumped too. And Tommy Fury's had a very, very rough. Wait.
He has a kid with his girl, doesn't he?
With Molly May, yeah.
Yo.
The rumor was that he cheated. I'm not sure if that's confirmed or not. But
like Barry Keoghan when he supposedly cheated on Sabrina Carpenter, which
I would never cheat on Sabrina Carpenter. That's just.
Did you hear the alleged rumor who you cheated with too?
Who
was that? I can't even think of her name. I'll show you afterwards.
Okay. Yeah, I would personally. I respect women. No, like fucking last week, dude.
It's like that one meme on the bus with the guy. I can't remember what it is, but he gets up. He's like, "I respect her very much."
Oh yeah. She is very beautiful to me. Yeah, like fucking
He's
that
that
meme.
guy.
Yeah, personally, I never do that. But look, Tommy Fury's had a rough few weeks, and then he just continues to bring it upon himself.
Dude, my guy might have to go on Love Island or some shit, you know?
You know what's funny? He was supposed to be on a reality show, and he dropped out of that to accept the Darren Till fight, and then pulled out of the Darren Till fight.
Dude,
Just,
he fuck, dude. Might be regretting that decision now. He might have to take a book out of Chase the Moore.
some,
Which, by the way, did Chase the Moore fight in a strip club in Mexico too?
yeah, he did.
Respect.
Dude, the more that we see the Fury family, I'm like, how the fuck did Tyson Fury become the heavyweight champion? Because everybody around him is just like fucking room temperature IQ, dude. Honestly,
I mean, you see the struggles he's gone to. I mean, it hasn't been easy.
I'd be depressed too if Tommy Fury were my brother.
Jesus, that good looking, right? And then you're just you.
Yeah, Tommy Fury pisses me off, man. As a boxer.
Granted, though, would you rather be Tyson Fury or Tommy Fury? Though?
Tyson Fury.
Exactly.
I'd rather be Tyson because 6'9" with
like 13 kids.
Yeah, but apparently he's making like $100 million to fight you.
I mean, yeah.
So,
granted, though, he's fine. Like he could take care of that many kids.
oh yeah.
I mean, Tyson.
He's already fine.
He could infinitely reproduce, probably still and take care of all of them.
Anyways, Tommy, we just had to throw this out there, man. Tommy Fury just making an embarrassment out of himself, dude. I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. It's just you have the world in your hands. And dude, whenever he beat Jake Paul and KSI back to back, and
did nothing with it.
The boxing community was like, "Yo, you may not be good, but you're our boy from now on," you know. And then he wasted all that potential.
Yeah.
He sat out the entire year, and now he's canceling this fight. And it's like, dude, even Jake Paul was like, "Dude, you're a clown."
The only real one out here, Vidal Riley, man.
Vidal's keep holding it down. And after that,
he has a fight coming up.
You know what's crazy? After beating KSI, he should have fought Vidal. That would have been a perfect fight, genuinely. He would have lost, but it's like, oh shit, you're really stepping up and doing this after beating these two YouTube pieces of shit. All right.
Dude, by the way, Vidal Riley being like the most lost in all of this
Yeah.
shit and not even looked is the
Not
saddest
talked
thing
about.
in the world.
Because he's the best one, you know.
He's not an influencer. He's actually a
No,
boxer.
but he's in the influencer space, you know.
He's in the not by choice. It kind of just happened.
Yeah.
It kind of just happened.
But by virtue of that, he is kind of linked to Jake Paul. He's linked to Tommy Fury.
in a way, but people don't know Vidal like that. Like people might be like, oh yeah, that was JJ's old trainer. They don't. I bet you a lot of people don't even know he boxes.
Yeah.
I kid you not. I bet you a lot of people don't even know he's a junior Olympic silver medalist.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the guy was trying to go to the Olympics at one point. Like that was his goal.
Yeah. I hear you, man.
I love Vidal though.
Yeah.
He's fun to watch box too. Like he's actually genuinely fun.
Yeah. One last thing before we move on. Jake Paul, he said it this week that he's like nearly finalized his opponent. I think it's going to be Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. That's the rumor that it's going to be Chavez Jr. Do you have any interest in that fight?
No.
All right, next up, UFC 312 going down into.
But if they fight at a strip club, that's
yeah, dude, they're actually gonna have to pull Junior out of the strip club to do this fight. It's actually
well, they actually told Junior that it'd be okay that he could stay in the strip club. The strip club just couldn't be active at the time.
They're bringing the fight to him. Jake Paul wants to win so bad over a boxer. He's gonna... No, anyways, UFC 312 going down February, and it's going down under in Australia. Announced over the weekend by UFC President Dana White in a big press conference. Dricus Duplessis, Sean Strickland 2 at the top of the bill. The co-main event, I'm actually way more excited for. Weili Zhang, Magnum, back against Tatiana Suarez, the undefeated legend. Yeah, I'm going to call her a legend, okay? We've talked about her for so long, finally fighting for the title. Finally, being the kind of Khabib Nurmagomedov of women's strawweight, okay? She's finally there. She was supposed to fight Verna Jandiroba, but that fight got canceled, and we didn't really know why. It seems like they really just wanted to give her a title shot, Because she said at the time, remember, she was like, I'm not injured. Like, I'm good to go. And then just got taken off the card. Now we know it's just she could fight for that gold in February. I feel bad for Verna Jandiroba.
She kind of got screwed over. But, hey, she's right there, and I think she should just sit out and wait.
And goddamn, this is a good fight, dude. This is such a good fight. Give me your thoughts on both of these fights being announced.
They're bangers. I mean, they're good fights. I mean, they make sense. They need to happen. Kind of weird, though, that they're the ones headlining an Australian card. I mean, I guess Weili, Chinese, close to China. There's a large Asian community in Australia. Kind of works.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I don't know. And Australia, I guess, are relatively like Sean Strickland when he was there, from what I hear.
Yeah.
So be it. And I mean, it's the UFC. People are going to be there, irrelevant to the fighters' nationalities or where they come from. As long as they're entertaining and they have a name, they'll put on a show.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I agree.
it makes sense. I'm excited. I'm genuinely fucking excited.
And this is the thing, like the UFC, like I feel like they used to announce like fights like way longer out.
I mean, the first 4 championship fights of the year are insane.
Yeah, they really are.
I mean, dude, you can't deny it. Like
Islam Arman, Merab Umar, and then Driga Strickland and Aweli.
they're probably the 4 best matchups they could make to start. I mean, who else could they do to start off the year?
I don't even know.
Exactly.
This is perfect. It's genuinely perfect.
Exactly. It just worked out.
I hope. I'm praying to every god imaginable that Tatiana Suarez stays healthy.
January is going to be fight porn.
Yeah, exactly.
Personified.
Yeah, can't wait. Happy Dana went out there and dropped his nuts out. You know, on that.
He did. I gotta give him. They cooked some shit up here, dude.
I do got to throw one last thing in there, man. This is the last subject of the day. Dana White finally discusses Conor McGregor. He was asked about it after not being asked for the pre-fight press conference, which I was like, dude, how are none of you guys going to sack up and ask that question? Finally, though, somebody asked.
What's his name? Because he's been asking a lot of hard-hitting questions.
Can't think of his name. I feel bad right now.
He's an older guy, but he gets shut down a lot by Dana, though.
Yeah, he does. Point being, he asks, does Dana White have any comment on Conor McGregor being found liable for rape? And he said, no, I don't have a comment. You know what? I'm going to pull up the quote, Angel. I'm going to pull up the quote. So I don't get this wrong. I know like 90% of it in my head, but I want to go ahead and get it right. Okay.
Let's see here. Just to say, though, I did think Dana kind of folded for the public to know.
He did fold. Yeah.
I thought this was infinitely worse than the response I thought he was going to give.
He said, if I had a comment, I would have put it out already. Quote. He hasn't been fighting here, and I don't know how long. Well, if he does fight again, it'll be sometime late next year. That's all he said. So even less than I thought he would say. I
gotta say, I think the NFL would have put out a better fucking statement.
If this is the NFL, he'd be suspended for at least 10 games. I mean, I'm being dead serious.
I mean,
or maybe,
dude,
I was gonna say Deshaun Watson, but Deshaun Watson was accused of by like 24 women. And he missed like a season of football. So I don't know.
Dude, that guy put up insane numbers compared to Conor.
Yeah. I mean, Conor's been accused of by like 6 people, but it's like
a
couple of those have
still bad. They're all bad.
Tripled.
They're all very bad. Doesn't matter how big.
Here's the way to determine if you cut it, even if half those women are lying. You know? That's a lot of bad shit. So
that's still three. It's too many. One too many.
Yeah. So do you think Conor ever fights again? He went on Twitter after this and said, oh yeah, I'll see you at the top.
I said last year, like I finally folded last year, and I said no. Like I thought I finally said no. It's done. He's not gonna fight again. It's over. Yeah. I'm not gonna fucking try to like give myself some false illusion that he's gonna come back. And especially after this, like it's gonna be kind of hard to watch. Like I don't know. Like I'm not gonna endorse Conor like that. I can't.
Yeah,
you can't. It's weird.
My inclination is he does fight again. And he probably fights next year because the reality is that he owes roughly a bit under $2 million for this whole thing. She's getting paid about 250. I think with if you converted euros to dollars, it's like 260,000. And he has to pay around $1.6 million in court fees, right? That's only around $2 million or so, but this guy's burning through cash. He lost all of the sponsorship deals that he had.
He's going to have to sell the yacht, dude, the Lambo yacht.
I think he is very well aware the only way he can make money right now is through fighting. And this is a guy that whenever you're that rich, you get addicted to that money. I think he's probably going to fight. Michael Chandler. He's going to get fucked up or something like that. Like maybe he'll win, but I just think at this point, 36 years old, hasn't fought in 3 years. It's time for him to hang it up and move on and do good things with his life. Instead, he's only getting himself in more trouble. So we'll see what happens. Dana White essentially folding, but I feel like we had to give an update because we talked about the story so much. Anything else we want to talk about before we go ahead and jump out of here, man?
No, man. I mean, it's kind of a sour note to end it on, but I mean, that's the news we had to cover.
That is true. That is the news we had to cover.
By the way, how far are we from doing the award show? Will it be this next week or the week after?
Oh man, so we could wait for Fury Usyk.
Oh, we definitely got to wait. Never mind.
Okay, so then it'll be the week after Christmas. It'll be the last week of 2024. So there we go, guys. It'll be the last. And then I think after that, we'll have to take a week off because there's nothing happening.
Yeah, I think
we'll have a mini break, but I'll probably make some sort of video that week. Or
we'll see how it all plays out. We never know what news can break out. We never know.
Exactly.
I mean, dude, you never know. We could get just a fatty week of news, especially going into the new year.
That's true. That's very true. Anyways, man. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I'm at Josh Evanoff. He's at Andrew Taker in Corner 01. Out Courtside Sound for all things related to the show. Hope you guys enjoyed and enjoyed these fights this weekend. Peace.